Hi, this is Teacher Meg here. Welcome back to the second part of Module 7 series on active listening and questioning skills. This time we're looking into the second active listening component called the reflective technique, which is basically clarifying yourself. So this just involves reflecting back to the speaker and what it is you think they mean, but also a very important part is clarification of the meaning of what has been said. So you listen, this is what I heard. Then you speak to make sure, is this what I heard? Is this what you want me to hear? Because normally there's always a miscommunication. So when you start working on the reflective technique, you get increased understanding. You understand, right? The speaker is able to clarify more precisely, and it's also it's good because it reassures the speaker that you are actually interested in listening, and this is just positive for relationship building. So there's definitely advantages of trying to take up these techniques that we're going to talk about. Basically, the term restate, it's often applied to this part of the technique because it involves paraphrasing the speaker's words back to them as a question. Right? So you take what they said, put in your own words, but in a sentence. So, for example, the speaker is saying, I don't think that's possible. And you want to say, as a listener, are you saying that it's not possible to fulfill the order by Friday with the staff we have available? Right? Ask them to be more specific. What is that? Right? I don't think that's possible. What is that? Okay. And the most important part of this approach is that it must take account some of the speaker's nonverbal signs, aka body language, as well as the actual words that they use. So there's two ways you can do reflection, but both should be involved. You can use paraphrasing, like I mentioned, but it should involve with both spoken word and also looking at the nonverbal, the non-spoken, and paraverbal. Paraverbal is basically matching the spoken, the words, with the body language, the relationship there, right? Sometimes they don't actually match, so you're a little bit curious. Right? When a student, for example, you say, do you understand? And they're like, yeah. But their body language is saying, not really, no. Then that is different, and we must be able to read that so we can get inside the mind of the student. So basically, clarify. One way to do this is using phrases and supportive sounds when you're listening, such as yes, go on, okay, I have an example of this. When I lived in South Korea for 2 years, at my job we were having a business meeting, and the boss randomly stopped in the little meeting and said, Megan, are you tired? I was a bit confused because I wasn't, and I was listening to everything that she was saying. And so I was very confused why she asked me this. But I was told later by one of my American coworkers, they said, yeah, just nod your head more, learn to go, because that's what Koreans do. Right? Sometimes I've noticed now that they do it so much to a point that you want to think, stops. And then after that, every time I was talking to my boss, I would say, and I just keep nodding my head, right? Alter my posture slightly, like moving forward. and just nodding your head, just so they know that you're actually listening. So make sure you use the appropriate facial expression, making eye contact to signal to the speaker, hey, I'm listening to you. This is good. Yeah, keep talking. This tends to encourage people more to open up, make their case, and they'll do it in an honest and heartfelt way because they feel like you care. So if you feel there's more to explore and you're not quite sure what they're saying, you can use paraphrasing of the last few words spoken, or just an open question to keep the conversation going, keep it alive. And in some instances, not all, but it depends on the situation, you might just want to remain quiet, let the speaker speak, or let them think, especially in an ESL situation. Let them think, and then they can continue. So these are just some simple body language tips that can help bring out problems that you might have been previously unaware of, right? So we could say kind of that there is a math equation with clarification. I don't like math, but this equation is okay. Reflection plus questions equals clarification. So basically, clarification, it's a mixture of these two things. Reflecting back, just like we talked about, thinking, what did I understand from that? And then directly questioning the speaker and saying, so you want this, right? To fill in these gaps that you weren't sure or correct misconceptions. I've definitely had it happen to me where I asked someone, okay, so, and repeat what they said back to me, and they say, no. It's this way, not that way. Right, so that's very important. Reflection plus question equals clarification. And let's look at the benefits of clarification. I want to prove to you that this is important. So on the speaker side, right, if they're asked for clarification, then their real situation will be known, right? And their viewpoint will definitely be understood. And you, as a listener, you understand not only just part, but the whole situation and the details, the specific issues. So everyone benefits. It's great. Now we're going to look at some principles of clarification. Here's the first one. Listening is more important than talking. Okay? More listening, less talking. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Responding to what is personal rather than to what is impersonal, distant, abstract, right? Respond to the personal things about the person. We talked about this in the last listening technique with I'm having a brain fart right now with listening orientation, right? Where are you in your listening? And we mentioned that it's better to keep your sights off yourself and on the other person. Okay, so be specific, be concrete, right? Make sure you understand everything concretely and not just in a vague way. Third one, restate and clarify what the other person has said. Don't ask questions about what you personally feel, believe. I think that, or, it would be better if that's not the right thing to say. Maybe we can get into that later, but first, restate what the speaker is saying. Clarify to make sure you understand exactly what's being said so that you can later respond appropriately. Okay, and number 4, understanding their feelings. So a person might say a bunch of facts and ideas, but you should learn to understand according to all their body cues, right? Body language, tone, words a bit. Try to understand the feelings behind that, right? You're empathizing with the other person, not just memorizing, okay, here's the facts, here's the ideas, right? And our fifth one to learn to listen actively is to just respond with acceptance, empathy. Don't be indifferent, have cold objectivity, fake concern. Don't do that. Accept what they have to say and put yourself in their shoes so you can try and understand them better. And those are just 5 principles of clarification right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Learn these and practice them in your daily life. We are always communicating with people. Every day we're listening to what other people have to say. So you can practice each one of these in a daily basis at work, in your home life, family, friends, break time, whatever. There's always a chance to practice listening. So work on that, work on clarification, and see how it helps you in your communication, because I bet there'll be a lot of things that you thought you understood correctly, but actually you didn't. So this is really important for us to understand.